There is one place where the seeds of business leadership are sown, helping bright young management professionals grow with the knowledge and the ability to create wealth for the society they live in, the organization they serve, and for themselves as individuals. That place is the TAPMI Management Institute, Manipal, popularly known as TAPMI. A few key factors have made TAPMI what it is today. One of them is the Institute's holistic approach to management education. The director of TAPMI, Professor Nagabrahmam, explains while outlining his vision for TAPMI.
We are now comprehensively restructuring our program, focusing upon three major principles: greater degree of exposure to global scenarios, changing paradigms of management, and without losing our basic values and ethics. In other words, it's a great challenge for schools of management and for the management education to develop a complete person in a short period of 2 years. We believe that we are going to be there among the best in Asia Pacific by 2007.
An important aspect of this holistic approach is the close industry-institute interaction. Professor Balasubramanian shares his views in this regard.
The industry-institute interaction is one of the key components of any management institute. I personally believe that industry-institute interaction will eventually define not only the reputation of the institute, but whether it has the sustainability to go for the future. And I'm convinced that TAPMI is moving in the right direction. The industry interaction is receiving all the necessary support and recognition. I'm very, very happy to be a part of this all.
Developing intellectual capital can contribute significantly towards providing a holistic approach. Professor Shankaran explains.
Well, research is an integral part of academic activities at TAPMI. World over, management educators now recognize that unless teaching is supplemented with appropriate research, there is no way forward. Therefore, we are now developing a culture of participation in conferences, writing for research journals, research projects, research seminars, etc. Our PhD program is also getting in place to give a fillip to research efforts. In the years to come, you'll be able to see that TAPMI would be recognized for research in management.
So how does industry view TAPMI's efforts? Dilip Ranjekar speaks on the Institute's emphasis on values.
And I find that the director, for example, or the staff, the faculty, they are very open. They are willing to learn, they are willing to interact, they are willing to understand, they are willing to incorporate what is the best. And I think that's a very good indicator of an institution having values such as openness, for example.
TAPMI has always laid great stress on academic rigor and discipline, coupled with close faculty-student interaction. Of course, this demands tight schedules as well as flexibility. Professor Vidya Pratap.
Scheduling of classes is no doubt quite a challenging task as well as a difficult one. But I take it up as a challenge and I look upon it as a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle.
The students on their part also go through a rigorous academic schedule at TAPMI. Vivek Balakrishnan talks about his experience.
What makes TAPMI's quality of rigor so special is that it is a disciplined form of rigor. You need to be assertive, you need to be innovative. It allows you to ensure that there's high level of motivation within you. There needs to be optimism in you.
From the industry's perspective, the academic rigor at TAPMI is reflected in the curriculum. Mr. Harish believes TAPMI's curriculum adequately reflects the needs of the industry.
As management consultants, we are a big consumer of MBAs, and consulting requires multifunctional skills, ability to listen well, respect the client, and ensure that the client needs are understood and not be the smart man around. And on this respect, TAPMI graduates seem to have in them a quality which makes them have their feet on ground and able to understand and empathize with the client, and they're able to come out with the right solutions.
Close faculty-student interaction on and off the campus results in enhanced teaching and learning. Dale and Pinto has this to say.
This is just one of the many instances wherein we interact with our faculty. They play a lot of sports with us besides basketball, as can be seen, and they also interact with us on various other extracurricular activities. Apart from this, each one of us is also assigned to a faculty for 2 years who acts as a mentor and guide.
TAPMI places a lot of emphasis on entrepreneurship and innovation. Professor Rajagopalan expresses his views on the subject.
We believe in participative learning. Now, participative learning includes a range of techniques, and our ultimate purpose in these pedagogies is to achieve what we call reflective learning. Reflective learning implies that when you are learning a concept or a theory, you constantly question its application in practice, and when you are actually practicing, you constantly think about how theory and concepts can improve your action.
The emphasis on entrepreneurship and innovation is not just restricted to curricular activities, as Professor Sivakumar tells us.
The entire business of BrandScan, which is a market research fair, is owned by the students. There can be no better example of entrepreneurship than this, because the institute gives a lot of flexibility for the students in terms of managing this whole affair.
The academic and financial autonomy, as well as the independence enjoyed by TAPMI, enables it to constantly adapt its curriculum to the changing needs of industry and society. Growth coupled with innovation, autonomy and an achievement orientation has been the hallmark of TAPMI in recent years. Mr. Ranjan Acharya and Mr. Prateek Kumar give their views.
There has been a tremendous growth in the way the students have grown, in the way the faculty has grown, in the way people have learned newer and newer skills, in the way people have learned to adapt to a global environment.
It's a very eager institute, and I see it reflected in the faculty. I see it reflected in the students, their eagerness to learn, their eagerness to benchmark themselves constantly with what's happening amongst the best business schools. What that eagerness does is that it takes away the sense of complacency, and it takes away this element of that, look, I'm already there, away, which I think is a big plus.
Recognizing the need to augment infrastructure, TAPMI has planned to establish its own modern, state-of-the-art campus at Manipal by 2004. Professor Vasudev Rao speaks on the new developments.
Last year onwards, we have been very active. A really modern, high-tech, I would say, a campus is being planned on a 50 acres lush green site at Manipal, about 4 kilometers from the present location. The campus would have the most modern facility for management education, so that the ambience is important for the students. We have the full academic blocks with the Wi-Fi wireless fidelity, the library and IT center as a knowledge centers. There will be EEP center, and there will be networking, the emergency power support, the full-fledged audiovisual facilities, etc. That is going to be a total international level management campus.
Students at TAPMI do not seem to consider TAPMI's location a disadvantage. In fact, as Suchi explains, they prefer the ambience of Manipal.
Manipal as such does not have the distractions which other big cities like Delhi or Bombay may have. A person is encouraged to study and to work because he or she sees the other students working. So there's a very healthy competitive environment which encourages the students to study.
Over the years, TAPMI has developed an exhaustive and rigorous admission process to ensure only the best make it. The number of applicants has been on the rise, going up from 2,500 in the year 2000 to 10,000 last year. Professor Simon George elaborates.
The number of students applying to TAPMI was 10,000. That's a phenomenal growth in terms of number of applications. We added more rigor into the admission process. TAPMI has got a complete assessment of the student from all sides, not only his academic background but also the ability to face difficulties, his ability to put hard work and also test of his future managerial abilities.
Of course, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. In the past few years, TAPMI has been attracting some of the biggest names in industry to its campus. Professor Sriram explains the placement process, while Mr. Sharma reveals how industry views a TAPMI graduate.
The placement record at TAPMI over the last few years has been very encouraging and consistently good. This has not been an accident, but because of the concerted efforts that we have initiated and implemented at TAPMI. First of all, we have stopped treating the recruiters as recruiters, but we have started treating them as our partners. When I say partners, we need to understand what their requirements are fully. So we have a lot of dialogue with them. We have continuous interactions with them in terms of understanding what their requirements are. Having understood the requirements, we translate them in terms of our course content. We have yearly reviews, mid-yearly reviews of the curriculum to understand where we need to change. The courses that need modifications, the courses that need to be merged, the courses that need to be dropped to reflect the requirements of the industry.
I find that TAPMI graduates are pretty well grounded, but I guess we are looking at it in terms of what the future global manager will require to do. And therefore I would like to go back to the three basic pillars of value creation in TAPMI, which is virtue, values and wisdom.
Those were the best days of my life. Oh yeah, back in the summer of '69.
All this takes TAPMI to the top of the league of premier B schools in the country today. Its exacting standards of curriculum and academic rigor, the focus on values, the quality of faculty and the extensive facilities on campus ensure that it nurtures the wealth creators of tomorrow's corporate world. And that's something no industry or nation can afford to ignore. Like the great Banyan, our goal is to support and nurture students as they mature into lifelong learners and leaders. Every student who passes through our portals will imbibe the soul of the Banyan, virtue, values and wisdom to be a creator of wealth.